Hi Cancer, welcome back to my channel, Karma Fox. I am doing your bonus reading. You guys had the highest viewership again last week, so thank you so much. I do want to start by letting you know that this is a general reading. It may not resonate with every single Cancer sign out there. So guys, seriously, just take what resonates for you and leave the rest for someone else. Also keep in mind that the energies can reverse. So if it's resonating, get in where you fit in, but don't force yourself into a reading that's not for you. Spirit, can I have the energy of the sign of Cancer? Cancer. All right, Cancer, you are starting out with the Seven of Wands. You have the Two of Swords, and you have the Three of Cups in the reverse. A little bit of defensive energy that's here. I feel like you are in a situation where you feel like you have to stand your ground. It's almost like somebody is trying to take something from you. So there's a sense of defensiveness, and I can understand why. It's leading you to some sort of a choice here, and I feel like you're kind of on the fence. You know, you're going back and forth. I feel like you've had some conflict with this other person. With the Three of Cups in the reverse, you're not happy about how this situation is unfolding, but there's a decision that you need to make here. So let's look in the person who's in your energy. Now, for some of you, this is somebody that I do feel like you've had a lot of conflict with, and they may be wanting to bring this back into a reunion, to come back together. And you're basically saying, oh no, I know what you did. You stole from me. And it doesn't necessarily have to be money. It could be, you know, they stole your time or they stole emotions. But there's a definite sense of you standing your ground with this person and saying, no. So let me see who's in your energy. Show me who's in Cancer's energy, please. All right, so the person in your energy, we have the Knight of Wands. We have the Chariot reversed and the Eight of Swords in the reverse. Interesting. This is somebody who you may have had an on and off, connection with this person, or they may, be somebody that's just kind of in and out of your life. I do see them communicating with you. I see you standing your ground with them. There is this sense of this person either, it being more of an on and off situation, or maybe they were even a player for a few of you. This is somebody that is resistant to forward movement in this connection, which is why you are now forced to make this decision. It's somebody who I feel like they don't like to take control of the situation. It's almost like they want to come and go when it's good for them. Eight of Swords in the reverse. This person isn't moving forward because they almost feel like if they move forward in this connection with you, that it's going to make them feel trapped. But they give off this essence of easy come, easy go, type of energy. But the truth of it is that they're actually avoidant because they're afraid of getting hurt. Yeah. But, that's just seeing it from their perspective. But honestly, your energy is saying, I really don't care why you're acting the way you are. I'm not okay with it. So for a few of you, this person could live at a distance as well. That could be part of the issue. Let me see what's the energy between Cancer and this person. The Strength card in the reverse. Yeah, a lot of fears are being triggered. This connection with you, and in particular the conflict that may have occurred between the two of you, is triggering the fear in this person. And it's a fear of being hurt, actually. So I also feel like for you, though, you just feel like the connection is beginning to weaken. It's not as strong as it once was. You're leaning more towards choosing yourself here. You could be dealing with a Leo. I'm also seeing some of you might be dealing with another Cancer. Let me see, show me what's affecting the connection. The Ten of Wands. Yeah, you're feeling burdened by this. You're feeling burdened. There's a lot of problems that are present here. And I feel like you're just feeling very constricted by the connection. Actually, they're the one that's probably feeling more constricted by the connection, but you're finding it problematic. It's kind of dampening your desire to be with this person. Yeah, I definitely feel like, and they're also somebody, it looks like, who is saying, look, you know, you're the one causing the problems here, Cancer. If you would just, you know, act differently, everything would be fine. So let me see, show me the outcome for Cancer and this person. The Fool. Yeah. Actually, it's like this. You have a new beginning happening, Cancer. You have some sort of a new beginning happening. You're basically saying, look, you can't seem to decide that I'm you know, what you want. There's all these problems. You're doing a lot of blaming. And so I'm not happy in this situation. So you can't seem to make a decision. I will make a decision. And I do see that you've kind of gone back and forth, but this conflict that you had with this person has affected a lot of it. And I do feel like you've got some sort of a new beginning that's happening. You're taking a risk. It looks like you're going in another direction. And you're basically saying, no, I don't want this thing from the past. I'm done here. So, and it really is your choice, because I feel like this person would be in and out as long as you let them. With the Knave of Swords, this is somebody who is doing some spying. They're doing like some low-key spying. I do feel like they could reach out to you only to find that you have this new beginning, that, you know, you are kind of freeing yourself. They're going to act like that doesn't bother them, but the truth is that it really actually does. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing this, you know, checking up on you, reaching out in, you know, very small but insignificant ways. There's a little bit of immaturity that I'm seeing here. So I do think you're going to hear from them. However, I feel like they're going to act like it doesn't bother them. And I don't agree. I think it does bother them. You triggered them is what it amounts to. Bottom of the deck is the Queen of Wands in the reverse. This is underlying energy. Some of you could be dealing with an Aries, Leo, or a Sagittarius. And this basically is telling me that you are not intending on taking action towards this person. And it also tells me that they could be a little angry or a little bitter about the way things are going. So let's clarify your reading, Cancer. Why is the Seven of Wands here for Cancer? Why is the Seven of Wands here for Cancer? Oh, yeah, we're not doing all that. Show me the Seven of Wands for Cancer, please. Thank you. All right, we have the Three of Cups and Judgment. So the conflict could have even been about whether or not to come back together with this person. If so, you're definitely choosing at the end of the day that that's not what you want. What you want is happiness. What you want is good, you know, making good judgment calls here. I feel like some of you have been dating. You've been going out and dating. And I think that you're starting to see that there are other people that you might be more aligned with. Let me see the Two of Swords. If you're not dating, well, a lot of you are, though, because that's where this new beginning comes from. Now, this new beginning might be in something else. It doesn't have to be in a relationship. But you know, for those of you that aren't dating, you might be going out with family and friends, social events. All right, we have the Magician. And we have the Seven of Pentacles. You're manifesting love. You definitely are. There's a deep manifestation that's taking place in your energy because you want to invest in something that you have like values. You share like values, or you share, you know, the same amount of energy, an equal give and take. This is what you're manifesting here. And I do feel like you're being very patient as well. I will also say that a lot of you were very patient with this person who is in your energy, and you did invest a lot into that. Let me see why the Three of Cups is in reverse for Cancer. Why is the Three of Cups in the reverse for Cancer? Yeah, 3 of coins and the Strength card. So while things are beginning to, your feelings, your thoughts, you know, the desire, I guess, to be with this person is beginning to weaken, it's going to be strong with somebody else. Whoever, it's either a situation or a new person. And I feel like for a lot of you, this is a new person. And that's your feelings for that person are strengthening. So I feel like that is also an indication to you that this is not this person who's in your energy, that's not who you want to be with. I'm seeing that if you take this leap of faith with somebody new here, that it's actually going to, it's going to be very stable. It's going to be a very strong connection. There's going to be a sense of working together to resolve problems, to, you know, create a happy situation. So, which is exactly what you were manifesting here. So I do feel like there's a possibility of you, you know, upgrading or stepping into some sort of a situation that's going to lead to a very solid foundation. Some of you may have met this person at work as well. Let me see the person who's in your energy. Why is this Knight of Wands here? For the person in Cancer's energy. The Wheel of Fortune. And yeah, the 10 of Cups reversed. So this person in your energy is not happy. They are not happy that you are pulling away from them. They're not happy that their fears have been activated in this connection, because honestly, they don't want to confront the fears. This is somebody who has a fear of moving forward. They have a fear of, you know, they're avoidant is what I'm saying. So, you know, they're not happy about that. I feel like the conversation that was had between the two of you, they likely initiated that, but they're not happy with the outcome of it. They're not happy that you kind of put up this guard, because what they want to do is move things forward and to, you know, move it back into a situation where things are moving between the two of you in a positive direction. Let me see why the Chariot is in reverse. Why is the Chariot in reverse? Yeah, they came back to you. Their energy shows them coming back towards you. They may have initially walked away, but they didn't get what they wanted from it. And they're basically saying, Cancer, you're the one who's causing all the problems here. You know, why can't you just loosen up? Why can't you just, you know, go back to the way things were? You know, why are you being so resistant? And so I am seeing that things didn't move forward. They're holding you accountable for that. They're very unhappy about it. Be careful, because for some of you, you could be involved here with somebody, but I don't see you moving towards them, so I don't think it's going to be your problem. But for some of you, this person may have a drinking issue, so be careful with that. Let me see the 8 of Swords in the reverse. Show me the 8 of Swords in the reverse. All right, Ace of Pentacles and the Death card. So this person could be moving towards someone new. It's going to be in response to you taking this leap of faith. Because what they want, they came in wanting to bring this back together. You basically, you know, put up those defenses and were like, no, I don't think so. And so, you know, what they're doing is they're basically saying, well, I don't care anyway. I've got something new going on, you know. So I do feel like they will tell you that as well, but that it's not stopping the fact that they're doing some low-key spying. So yeah, they may act unbothered, but they literally are jumping into something else in order to deal with, you know, you moving on from them. It's funny because last week I had somebody, it was a cross watcher, who came on and said, look, I unsubscribed to you because you trashed me in Cancer's reading. And I'm not trashing anybody. I'm just telling you what the cards say. Sometimes you guys don't understand. Like, I don't choose the energy. I just read the energy. It's like getting mad at an author for the book. You know, you chose to read the book. So, all right. But let's look at the energy between Cancer and this person. Show me the energy between Cancer and this person. All right, Six of Swords reversed and the Five of Wands reversed. Yeah, they came back towards you because they wanted to resolve the conflict. And again, this person doesn't like arguments or, conflict. They avoid that heavily. They're still emotionally attached to you regardless of what they're saying. I do feel like, they wanted to move things forward. They contacted you to try to do that and to end the conflict between the two of you. And you basically said, no, I'm not moving forward with you. This is chaotic. I'm making better, judgment calls for myself right now. And so you basically said, no, I don't want to move forward with you. You kept me stuck in this situation for a long time. So let me see the Ten of Wands. Ooh, you've gone silent too. Interesting. You could be dealing with a Scorpio. Maybe a Virgo. Gemini. Taurus. All right, so we have the Lovers. We have the Hierophant reversed. And we have the Hermit. Yeah, so you had a choice. The choice was yours. And I do feel like it was a difficult choice for you. Because at some point, you were definitely tied in with this person in this connection. So I do think you did a lot of soul searching. You became healthier is what it looks like. You decided that you had to only invest in things that were going to bring you reciprocity, love, balance in your life. So this was a huge thing for you. What I'm seeing here is that you did have a hard time making this decision to move on from this person. But ultimately, you decided to, go within. You cut off contact, it looks like. You were looking for the answers. And all this patience, all this investment that you were giving to this person, you basically turned it around and you started loving yourself. You started giving that to yourself. And this is why you have this choice between this person and now this new person. So, in their energy, they were coming back in. They wanted to restart things, but on their terms. They weren't offering the commitment here. So, and that was part of the problem to begin with. So I feel like you kind of went silent on them. You don't really even want to talk with them. Let me look at, and they're wearing a false mask because they're acting like they're unbothered, but that's not the truth. In fact, they are literally acting like, okay, well, I've moved on. I have somebody new in my life. But again, the truth of it is they likely do have somebody new in their life. However, it looks like it was a response to you moving on from them. So the motivation for a new connection seems entirely different from your side and their side. Show me, okay, there we go. All right, so we have the Knight of Cups reversed. We have the World, and we have the King of Swords reversed. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy. All right, so yeah, you're turning them down. You're turning them down. You have this new beginning elsewhere. You're not happy with the way they've behaved. You're not happy with the connection at this point. It looks like you've done a lot of work on yourself. And that's been very helpful. You may have met this person when you were kind of in a very unhealed state. And now you've gotten this stability that you need in your life. You've done a lot of the work. And I feel like, that's important to you to make these good decisions. So you're turning them down. You're moving towards another connection or a new beginning of some sort that is actually going to be very stable. You're closing this cycle out so that you can begin a new cycle in your life. They're watching you do this. They're acting unbothered, but actually they really are. It looks like for a lot of you, they may have moved towards somebody new. Looks like somebody who might be very young or very innocent in their energy. They're angry. They're very angry with you for moving on from them. I just get the feeling like this person never thought you would move on from them. So they're angry about that. And it also shows that they're not even being honest with themselves why they've started this new connection. They're definitely not being honest with you about it. Bottom of the deck is the Knight of Pentacles, and that indicates to me as an underlying energy that you are definitely moving forward. You're making very slow and very steady progress. I don't see you taking action at all towards this person. It's almost like you've shut them out and you're moving forward with your life. So let's pull an oracle card for you. I am pulling for the sign of Cancer. All right. So we have the Awakened Dead. The things that almost broke me were the things that most awoke me. Interesting. It's all about resilience, self-appreciation. So let me read that for you. All right, so your affirmation is, I honor all of me, my past, present, and future selves. This card can mean it's time for you to have a powerful moment of self-realization about the life you're leading, as if you have already lived it, as if your future self is talking to you. This card also can mean that you have been self-critical and that it's okay. You're on the right track, even if it's not going as you planned. Point of view. Imagine you're reflecting on your life from the afterlife. You're so proud of yourself because you were always doing so much better than you thought you were. You can see it now, you know it now, but you wish you could have known it then. You wish you could have seen yourself the way you see yourself now, because you are so beautiful. You realize it was always a choice that you decided to make over and over. Even when you didn't want to, you didn't have to. It would have been easier, you know, not to. But you did. You chose to empower yourself, to begin again, to believe again, to pick yourself back up after you fell so hard. Nose in the dirt, tears in the soil, hands grasping the earth. And it's okay if you sometimes lay there in that cold darkness a bit longer than you should have. You were in pain, you were tired, and it's okay if you judged yourself for that. You wanted the best for yourself because you believed. You chose to believe. Because even after your weakest aching, I'm so dead inside moments, you called for a rebirth and a reckoning after chaos ensued. You summoned those faintly lit and seemingly dormant powers to come out from deep within your soul, and finally they did. Sometimes you weren't sure though, and that's okay. It's just incredible that even through all the craziness of this world and people, you did it. You really did it. You just wish you could have known that you always could have trusted yourself. You always could have trusted yourself. This card is a testament to the times we thought we were broken, but instead we were awakened, transformed and alchemized through darkness. A salute to all the lessons ahead and how much grace we deserve to give ourselves. I love that card. That is an awesome card, and it really does speak to your reading, the energy of your reading. So I hope this has been helpful for you, Cancer. If you've resonated with this, hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Hype the video if you get the opportunity. And until I see you in your next reading, Cancer, know that you are loved, and namaste.